Good morning, class 6. Welcome to the online class of English. I am Shruti Srivastav. I'll be teaching you the first story of A Pact with the Sun. Before proceeding, I'll just like to remind you that first story of Honeysuckle, that is the main reader book, you have already done with Cynthia ma'am. Fine. Okay, let's begin the story, A Tale of Two Birds. Before starting the story, I would like to just remind you few things, or just we can talk about few things. You all are in a teenager group, and you must have heard on and off your parents keep on telling you that you should have a good company. If your friends are not good, you will be facing the repercussions, or you will be ending up in trouble. Sometimes you might have noticed in the class also that maybe your friend has done some mischief, and just because he is your friend, the teacher scolds both of you. So at that time you feel very irritated, but that is the result of your friendship. We cannot say that everybody is bad, but then if you are having a bad company, that you really face problems because of that. That's why teachers also keep reminding you that you should always keep good company, be in good company, because that will help you to improvise your personality. You get inspired from lot of things from each other. And that is what your parents also tell you. Keep on saying that. Now, if you are having a bad company, I have given you one example. Now, if you are having a good company, that can inspire you and you can do really well in life as well. Lot of people are there who have done or who have been inspired just because they had the good company. So let's begin with the story now. A mother bird and her two young ones lived in a forest. The mother was killed in a storm and the young birds were separated from each other. Each found a different home. There once lived a bird and her two newborn babies in a forest. They had a nest in a tall, shady tree, and there the mother bird took care of her little ones day and night. One day there was a big storm. There was thunder, lightning, and rain, and the wind blew down many trees. The tall tree in which the birds lived also came down. A big, heavy branch hit the nest and killed the bird. Fortunately for the baby birds, the strong wind blew them away to the other side of the forest. One of them came down near a cave where a gang of robbers lived. The other landed outside a rishi's ashram a little distance away. So what we have read in this paragraph, that there was a bird who had two newborn babies and they were living in a forest on a tall tree. And she was, being a mother, she was taking good care of her children. One day there was a storm, thunder and lightning, and by chance what happened that the tree fell down and a big branch hit the nest. So you can say what happened was that the big branch hit the nest, and obviously that killed the mother bird. But luckily the young ones, were separated and they were they were thrown away. One of them landed near a cave where a gang of robbers were living, and the other one landed to a place where a rishi had his ashram. Days passed and the bird became big birds. One day the king of the country came to the forest to hunt. He saw a deer and rode after it. It ran deep into the forest, followed by the king. Soon the king lost his way and didn't know where he was. So gradually days passed. The baby birds grew up and they became the big birds. One day the king of that country, of that place, came to the forest for hunting. He saw a deer and he ran after the deer to catch him or to kill him. And in that meanwhile, he lost his way. He lost his people Obviously, we all know that the king must have come to the forest with some of his people. He must not have come to the forest all alone. So, but by chance, just running after that deer, he didn't notice and he lost his way. So, he didn't know how to go back. He rode on for a long time till he came to the other side of the forest, very tired by now. He got off his horse and sat down under a tree that stood near a cave. Suddenly he heard a voice cry out, "Quick, hurry up! There is someone under the tree. Come and take his jewels and his horse. Hurry, or else he will slip away." The king was amazed. He looked up and saw a big brown bird on the tree under which he was sitting. He also heard faint noises issuing from the cave. He quickly got onto his horse and rode away as fast as he could. So when he was not able to find out the way to go back, after a long time he was tired, so he sat down under the tree where one of the bird who was thrown away and has reached to the place where the gang of robbers were living in the cave. So that bird saw him and the bird cried out. That means the bird was calling the robbers to come out, quickly come out. And the bird said that there is somebody who is sitting here who has jewels and horse. So if you come up quickly, you can take all these things. Otherwise, the person will run away. But the king was surprised because when he saw up, he saw that there was a bird. So he has not seen a bird talking before. So he was scared. And then he heard that there was some hustle and bustle in the cave. That means people were moving here and there. So they were trying to come out. So he quickly understood that some people are coming out to take what has been instructed. So he quickly rode his horse and he ran away from there. Ran away in the sense he tried to move away as fast as he could. The king was amazed to hear a similar voice again. He came to know the bird's true story. He met the rishi who explained the behavior of each bird. Soon he came to a clearing which looked like an ashram. It was the rishi's ashram. The king tied his horse to a tree and sat down in its shade. Suddenly he heard a gentle voice announce, "Welcome to the ashram. Sir, please go inside and rest. The rishi will be back soon. There is some cold water in the pot. Please make yourself comfortable." The king looked up and saw a big brown bird in the tree. He was amazed. "This one looks like the other bird outside the cave," he said to himself loudly. So, after escaping from that cave, he reached to a place which looked like a plain area and he saw that there was an ashram. So, this was the place where the other bird has shifted or has been moved. So he tied his horse to the tree and sat down in the shade. Again he heard a gentle voice, and that voice said, the difference was that this was a gentle voice. Here the bird said, "Welcome to the ashram." And the bird said that the king could go inside the ashram and rest for a while till the time the rishi is back, because rishi has gone out somewhere. And the bird said that he could have the cold water which was there in the pot, and he can be comfortable till the time the rishi is back. The king looked up again and saw that the bird resembled to the previous bird. That means it was also a big brown bird. But then he was surprised because in looks both the birds were similar, but there was a difference. So when he was thinking, he said this thing little loud. And then he heard, "You are right, sir," answered the bird. "He is my brother, but he has made friends with robbers. He now talks as they do. He doesn't talk to me anymore." Just then the rishi entered the ashram. Because the king had spoken little loudly, so the bird heard him saying that he was shocked because both the birds resembled each other, but the difference was that this bird was very soft spoken and very considerate, while the other one was having a harsh voice and was not at all polite. So the bird told him that the other bird which the king had seen outside the cave was his brother, and he became, since he has been living there, he became friends with the robbers who were living in the cave, and now the bird has completely changed. And that therefore that bird who is living near the cave is now not in any relation, or has stopped speaking to the bird who was living outside the rishis ashram. When the bird was telling this, that in the meanwhile the rishi came back, and Rishi said, "Welcome, sir," he said to the king. "Please come inside and make yourself at home. You look tired. Rest for a while, then you can share my food." The Rishi welcomed the king and said that he can come inside and feel it as his home, be comfortable, because the Rishi realized that the king looked very tired, and he said that for some time the king can rest in his cave, and after that he can have food with the Rishi. The king told the Rishi the story of the two birds and how each other had behaved so differently, though they looked so alike. "The forest is full of surprises," he said. So the king, who was still very shocked or was in surprise, he told the Rishi what has happened, the story of the two birds, and how they were resembling so much, but still they were so different from each other. They behaved differently. So the Rishi said that, the king said that the forest is full of surprises because, first of all, he noticed that the birds are talking. Secondly, their behavior was like, surprising the king. So the holy man smiled and said, "After all, one is known by the company one keeps. That bird has always heard the talk of robbers. He imitates them and talks about robbing people. This one has repeated what he has always heard. He welcomes people to the ashram. Now, come inside and rest. I will tell you more about this place and these birds." So, hearing what the king has said, the holy man, that is the Rishi, he smiled and he said that always remember that a person is known by the company he keeps. The other bird, who was outside the cave, has always heard the talking of the robbers, so he imitates, he copies what the robbers have been doing or have been saying to each other. Whereas, on the other hand, the other bird, which was outside the Rishi's ashram, has always noticed what the Rishi has been doing. He has been very polite to the people, he has always welcomed the people to the ashram, helped them in whatever way he could. So he said that to the king that this bird has imitated what he has or what it has seen always. Whereas, after that, he said to the king that now he can come inside and take rest. In the meanwhile, he is going to tell more things about the jungle, about the forest, and of course about the birds as well. So now we end the story here. There are few words which we have learnt about, or which we have come through while reading the story. For example, fortunately, which means luckily, by chance also you can say. Then we have heard that a gang of robbers, gang is a word used for collective noun, we all are familiar with it. Slip away, that means to run away. Amazed, I have already told you all while discussing it. It is, yes, you are right, it's surprised. Rishi is a term which we have used here for the saint, a person who prays the whole day, chants mantras, who has left his family and lives in the jungle. The last word which we have learned is imitate, that is to copy somebody. After this, we will be doing the question answers which are given after the chapter.